Hey, what's up guys, Jack here and welcome to another incredibly entertaining and sexual news video. News. Well, there are a few interesting snippets to talk about today though, Battlefield and Star Wars related. And I wanted first to show you some gameplay of the Battlefield 4 community map project map thingy, because if you remember a couple months ago this was announced. Now the idea would be that the community comes up with the ideas, concepts for a map, then we vote on it, give feedback, suggestions, the shit gets made and it's released for free for everyone. And it was decided that this would be a jungle map with a couple of interesting features, waterfalls, and it would also be highly destructive and focused on infantry gameplay. That sounds right up my alley. As you can clearly see, there are no textures on the map right now, but at the moment, playing this map is about getting the scale correct. It's been available for a week or so, this version of the map with all the foliage in it, and we had to vote whether the scale of this thing was good or bad. Does it need to be bigger, smaller, do the flags need to move, etc. And now we voted that it's actually all good. The scale's in a good place right now and the map has entered production phases. What does that mean? Well, that's where they make it look pretty and stuff, add more cover, props, maybe an extra vehicle or two. It's a nice map, I have to say it plays quite well in this very early stage of development. One of the things that struck me the most about it is that you can actually use this dense vegetation in the middle of the map as cover. In CTE, they've changed the way spotting works. It's not a big spamathon anymore where you hit spot once and the whole place gets lit up like a Christmas tree. And because of this, there are less Doritos. You actually get people effectively using the jungle as cover, so crawling around, hiding in ditches under wooden huts in riverbanks. And that's a really nice thing to see. Say for example you're being chased down by a tank and can't retaliate, no problem. Dive into the forest, get low, the large trees are going to prevent that tank from following you in there and getting a clear shot. And because of the 3D spotting nerf, they can't just wallbang your orange Dorito. That actually sounds like a really dangerous way to copulate. I wouldn't recommend it. Overall, I like this map so far, I like the direction it's going in, and although it might look like one, it doesn't actually play anything like the China Rising maps. It's very flat for the infantry game, which is a good thing. I do think the waterfall should be a bigger feature of the level though, make it look more epic, maybe a little secret entrance in there. There's also a couple of points on the map in the river where you're forced out of your tank because the water's too deep, and they kind of come out of nowhere. There's no indication that that's going to happen. Like you'll be driving down the river and your tank completely fine, and then nope, the water is just tall enough and it pops you out of the tank and you can't get back in, which is incredibly annoying. So I would suggest that the water levels in the rivers throughout the map stay the same and tanks can always drive through them. The 5 new weapons all have textures now as well. The AN-94 is bloody amazing. It's really good. So it's nice to be able to drop someone with a quick headshot burst. The Mare's Leg, that little secondary pocket sniper rifle thingy, that's pretty sweet as well. I think that's going to be a weapon that's hard to master, but if you get good with it, you can really do some damage. As for the L86A2, it's kind of like an assault rifle mixed with an LMG, and I don't really care for it much, to be honest. It just seemed kind of average. Grows a carbine, it's okay. And then they grows at SMG. It's still not as good as the MPX, so that's what I'm still going to be using. I bloody love the MPX. The spring patch for BF4 is coming out soon, hopefully. Still no exact date yet. Interestingly though, there won't be an increase to the level cap. That's going to remain at 140, but apparently the developers have something else in store for players that are max rank. So I'm thinking either a camo, Easter egg, or a special dog tag, something like that. So I've been playing a lot of 200% XP lockers to grind that 32 million score, or whatever ridiculous number it is you've got to get. I'm currently on the way to level 133, so not that far off, but still lots of ammo boxes to drop and people to kill. I'll be there soon. Now before we move on to the Battlefront news, just look at this guy for me. Don't really know what's happened there. There was some sort of an incident with a quad bike and a monstrosity has occurred. Not quite sure what's going on. Kind of looks like my client has replaced his third person model with my first person model, maybe. Anyways, we'll leave that guy alone for now. He can just do his own thing. So Battlefront then, choo choo. All aboard the motherfucking hype train, bitches. Star Wars and shit. Yay. So Patrick Back has recently confirmed that there is no aim down the sights, kind of, in Battlefront. Aim down the sight, that's very important. If you've got a blaster that doesn't have a scope, you can't ADS with it. it's going to be hip fire only. But if there's a scope on it or a sight of some sort, you can aim down the scope, if that makes sense. Now, the gameplay I saw, the dude had a blaster rifle and a scope on it, and he aimed down the scope. It kind of looked like the PKA scope from Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. If it's an iron sight weapon though, no bueno, it's going to be hip fire only. But, and this concerns me a little bit, does this mean that there won't be accuracy and recoil penalties for not aiming down the scope? If that's so, I predict everyone's just going to use third person all of the time because you get a wider field of view, you can see around corners, and there's no punishment for not scoping in. What do you think about that then? Is that good, bad, couldn't care less? Let me know. Also, 12 multiplayer maps in Battlefront at launch, #confirmed. 12 is actually more than BF4 and BF3 had in the vanilla game at launch. BF3 had 9 and BF4 had 10 maps, I think. But in Battlefront, we only get 4 environments though. So I hope that there's going to be enough variation there. And I don't know if that includes the Battle of Jakku either. If it does, then maybe we'll get 13 or 14 maps in the game at launch, which would be pretty nice to see. They released a couple of screenshots and concept art wallpapers too on May the 4th, Star Trek Day. Here's a nice screenshot of Sullust, scary TIE fighters there, and also some Sullust concept art, stormtroopers YOLOing through some lava there. No big deal really, they don't give a fuck, they're stormtroopers, bitches. And final snippet of Battlefront stuff, EA have revealed they're expecting to sell 9 to 10 million copies of the game before March 2016. That's a lot of copies, but when you think about it, this game is going to have a very broad audience. You'll have Battlefield players who'll probably buy it because it's made by DICE and it's a big battle fantasy game. You'll have Star Wars fans who'll buy it because Star Wars. You'll have people that played the original Battlefront games and are like, oh fuck yeah, a new Battlefront game, woo! And then you'll have people who are like, big scale warfare, shooty laser thingies, I'm going to try this game out. But I also think there'll be a new younger audience on this game because they have the split screen challenge modes. Parents playing with their kids in split screen, for example. I think that's going to be quite popular. What do you think? Will this game be that successful? 10 million copies sold in 5 to 6 months? Has all of the information released so far tantalized you, or are you underwhelmed by what we've learned? Let me know down in the comments below. And that's all for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video. I've got more GTA 5, CSGO and BF4 content coming up over the next few days. Love you guys as always. Thank you so much for your support on my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.